So we're going to be talking about Michael Dunahee. He was only 4 years old when he went missing, and he actually went missing from Canada, but there were some sightings in the U.S., and he's been gone for quite a while, but I wanted to bring it back to everybody's attention so you'll know all about it. So Michael and his 6-month-old sister and his mom and his dad, it was a Sunday, and they were going over to this field because his mom was playing in a touch football team, and as a family they were all going there. So they parked in the parking lot, and Michael could see the playground, and he wanted to go ahead and run over there and play. And Michael's mom, her name was Crystal, and she said later in interviews that she was thinking about it and was considering it, but she could see other families over there, and she could still see the field of where she was at. So she thought it would be all right for him to go over there by himself. And she knew Bruce, her husband, would be over there in just a few minutes. He was taking things out of the car in the parking lot. So let me show you a clip from that.
This is a parking lot where the Dunahees had parked their car, and Bruce Dunahee had a clear line of sight, if you can track all the way right over here to where I'm standing right now. This is where the playground was. It was filled with portables. Michael disappeared from a playground next to a Victoria elementary school. His mother was playing in a football game as his father began unloading the family car.
We got to the field. Michael was seeing the playground, and he wanted to go play in it. And I told him, you can go up, but don't wander off anywhere. And I'll push the stroller over to the field.
So she knew that Bruce was unloading things out of the car. He could see the playground also. And so she told Michael, she says, now don't go away with anybody. Just go right to the playground, go straight over there. And so he went. And she was putting her shoes on, and Bruce was over by the car, and then Michael just disappeared.
Well, on March 24th, 1991, as in any other weekend activity, I was on my way to the football field because I play women's football, and we had taken the children. My husband was with us, and on the way to the field, Michael had asked if he could play at the park.
So Bruce went over there to get Michael, realized he wasn't there, started asking other parents and family members. They said they never saw him. Crystal was over there in a flash. She was looking also, and then they called the police.
The police were contacted. Well, we did a perimeter search ourselves, and when we realized we couldn't find him, we had gone to a neighboring house before cell phones and asked for assistance, and they called the police, and from there we've been searching ever since.
The police came over and they did a thorough search. They looked everywhere for Michael, and they could not find him. Now, there was a witness report that stated that there was a man there between 40 and 50 years old, and he had a brown van, and they were thinking that maybe this was a person of interest. Now, they actually had a child that drew the brown van because she said she saw it, and it was actually put on the poster. You can see that poster right here. Now, over the years, there have been a lot of sightings for Michael. They have been very serious about to follow up on these sightings. The authorities have, and every time they've got a report of one, they would go over and talk to the person and get a DNA sample. So that happened in 2006, 2011, and in 2013. They gave these people a test, but no one turned out to be Michael.
One tip led to a family in Chase, where the community was certain Michael was living.
This February, late February 2011, we did eliminate the possibility that he was Michael via DNA sample analysis.
Now, there was a couple of significant things that happened over the years. One was an attempted taking of a 7-year-old girl in New Jersey. And during this event that happened, a boy was seen in the backseat of the car of the man. It was described as having a pocked face, about 5'10", 170 pounds. Now, they felt that that was Michael in the back of the car, but they never found the man again. They never found the car. They didn't get a description of the car. So we don't know if that would ever have panned out to be Michael or not. The other incident was in 2009. There was a man, his name was Vernon Seitz, S-E-I-T-Z. He was a barber. And after he passed away, the police went to his home and they found all kinds of evidence, missing child posters around there. And one was for Jacob Wetterling when he went missing, and another one was for Michael. And on the back of it, it was laminated. On the back of it, there was a map on there, and they checked that out, but nothing came of that. So they were wondering possibly that this Vernon Seitz might have had something to do with the disappearance of Michael. What was also interesting about that is Jacob Wetterling's mother said that Vernon actually showed up at her house a couple times offering to help her look for Jacob, and she had known him. And then they talked to Crystal, Michael's mother, and asked her if she knew him, and she said that the name seemed familiar, but that's all that she could recall. So after going through Vernon's house, they found a lot of evidence. They found those posters I talked about. They talked to a psychiatrist that led them to some more information that was very interesting about Vernon. But after all of that and collecting all that, they just ended up in a dead end, and they could not prove one way or the other if Vernon had anything to do with the disappearance of Michael. Now, you might have heard just recently on a TikTok video, it was in 2020, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt was found in the water. Now, this was important because Michael was wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt when he went missing. So the TikTok person put it up on TikTok, and the family heard about it. They went and they spoke to him, and they looked at the shirt, and they said that no, it did not match the one that Michael was wearing when he went disappearing. That would be a long time for a shirt to be in the water. So since 2009, there really hasn't been any more leads on the case. It's got really quiet. Most people here in the U.S. haven't heard about the story because it originates in Canada, but there's been so many sightings of him in the U.S., and there's a great possibility he could have been brought to the U.S. I wanted to bring this story to everyone's attention. Now, they've done a age progression sketch. I kind of wish they would do a clay model one, or more 3D, or even a one that has some color in it, but they have a black and white sketch of Michael Dunahee. And if you know anybody that looks similar to the sketch, you know they're not exact, but they can be pretty close. There's been cases where people will see a sketch and then realize it looks a lot like them, and they go to find out that they were a missing child. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen every now and then. So if you recognize or you think this looks similar to somebody you know, maybe you could show it to them and see if they agree with you. If they don't know anything about their past, they might want to check on it more thoroughly and learn about the story. I've also included a lot of photographs of the location of where Michael was when he went missing, and I've showed them to you here on this video, but you can also go back to missingpersonsofamerica.com and you can see those pictures more closely. All right, that's it. I've covered that story. So I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.